How high can Polkadot go during Q4 of 2025? That's what we're going to be asking AI today, and we're going to ask it a few questions, and you can follow along with us because you can add these metrics into AI and see what the results are, and then we can compare the results and then add them to my charts and then see if AI agrees with me. But we're going to ask it metrics. These metrics are outside of my remit, and then we're collectively going to paint a picture. We need to input things like social. Is there an increase in activity on things like X? What about on-chain development? Is there an increase in transactional value? We're going to ask it about the technicals and see if the technicals agree with exactly what I'm saying. All of these things collectively paint that picture to help us identify the bear scenario and the bull scenario. And we're going to go over both now. And what we're actually going to do in this video is something that you can do yourself. If you've got TradingView, and I'm not affiliated with TradingView, get yourself the free version. If you're new to trading, get yourself the free version. But understanding how to read a price chart is one of the best things that you will ever do, because you can understand exactly if something's fair value, overvalued, undervalued, and you can take advantage of that at different times of the market. So I highly recommend, if it's something that you're looking at getting into, get the free version. Don't put your own money in and don't start trading until you've learned your back test and you understand exactly what you're getting into. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you exactly what metrics that I put into AI, and then we're going to compare that with my Polkadot chart to find out if there is any confluence. And I'm winging this today, so I hope there is. So the first thing that we're going to ask is provide a concise analysis of Polkadot price potential within a peak of Q4 2025. I've asked it for a bull case and I've asked it for a bear case based on the following metrics. Remember, it's not just technicals, there's things outside of technicals. The more you understand, the higher the probabilities. So use extensive searches across X, Twitter, YouTube, trends, on-chain data sources, news sites, analyst reports to gather the latest data as of October 2025. That's now. So structure the response in simple bullet points per metric with brief explanations, and then give overall bull, bear price ranges with dollar lows and dollar highs, and apply probabilities. This is important for each scenario by percentage. We want to know that the bull case, the bear case. Then we're moving on to social metrics. Search X, recent sentiment, use keyword sentiment, searches like Polkadot or DOT, with operators for latest and top posts. So that's important. The more interaction on X, the more interaction and the more marketing it gets. The more marketing it gets, the more people see it. The more people see it, the more people want to be a part of it. So that is important with the social metric. Also, as far as YouTube views, are they increasing? Comments, Polkadot videos, Google Trends, Reddit mentions. And we've said we want a bull case, and that would be a rise in positive buzz. We want a bear case, which would be decline in interest. Then we want on-chain metrics. That's the thing with crypto, guys. You get on-chain data, so you can see things like transactions. Are they increasing? Are they decreasing? Is people using it? Are they not using it? So pull latest sources like DotLake, Subscan, June Analytics, transactional volume, active addresses, staking, TVL. And then we want, of course, the bull case, growth and activity, the bear case, stagnation. It's always important to look at both sides of the fence because it's a game of probabilities. News and development, search for upcoming events, any upgrades, Polkadot 2.0, partnerships, GitHub activity. And then, of course, we want the bull case again, active, devs, major announcements, bear case, delays, issues. These are all important things. Adoption and utility. So we need to analyze DOT's unique role in cross-chain tech. Remember, is it different to other chains? Does anything do it better? Parachain versus competitors, and then search adoption stats in DeFi and Web3. And then, of course, we want the bull case, increase in real world use, and the bear case, competition. That's better technology, erodes uniqueness. Then the thing that I'm interested in is the technical price action. Review charts, indicators like RSI, that's what we do, moving averages. Via TradingView, that's what I said, guys, and that's why we can follow along with each other, because we're going to look at the charts very shortly. Plus top analyst predictions from CoinMarketCap, Cointelegraph, and then we want the bull case, breakouts, add percentage outcomes for each scenario, and then the bear case, which is resistance, percentage outcomes for each scenario, and then end with estimates based on the above metrics, along with the technical price range and the probabilities of it getting there, and keep the total response into 500 words because I don't want to bore you too much for quick video scripting. That's what I've asked AI. We're going to look at the charts quickly to identify exactly where DOT is, what range it's in, what my charts are saying, and then we're going to come back and find the results of Grok. Okay, so we talked in the last video and Dot that this was the thing that we needed to happen in the short term. If we fell through and resisted at this level, then we were expected to come back down. We said the next support base was going to be two things: 50 period moving average, the 200 period moving average. Why are they important? Because of this. We've just had a golden cross. So we understood that we've broken through here with such volatility. If we dropped at this level, which we did, we rejected at this level, which we did, we had this level to come back on, and look where we bounced. Just zoom in, pull that across. You can see we bounced exactly to the T of exactly the 50 moving average. So we've bounced off there. We've had a reaction from there. We know in the short term, $4.30 is going to be the immediate resistance within the coming days. So that's what we're looking for in the short term. If we zoom out, we can see $5 was a key important level. $5 was the top of this range, and this is where we got a reaction. It's where we got a rejection point, and $5 is a key psychological round number. Top of this range here, where's that sat? $5.42. We've got, if we zoom out even further and zoom out even further, we've got $6.28. Why is that important? Because that is the biggest area of traded volume, all the way from the bull market high, all the way to the bear market low, including where price action is now. Biggest area of traded volume, $6.28. That's going to be a key point that we need to overcome in the short term. So we're going to need a volatile spike to be able to get up there. But once we get up there, hold that as support, then you'll see little resistance all the way to $10. $10, are we likely to hit $10? We can zoom out, we can look. We've hit $10 there. When was that? That was in December 2024 when we had the big rally. We've also hit $10 here, 16th of March 2024. In fact, we hit higher than that. We hit just under $12. So we've done it twice in a bear market, If we start to get an on-risk rally, what's to say we're not going to start breaking through these levels and breaking through these levels? Now, the $10, what does that represent? $10 represents 38.2% retracement, not from its previous bull market high, but from its lower high from the bear market, all the way down here, all the way down there. So that's conservative, and we've measured that all the way to the bottom. You can see that this $10 here is just a 38.2% retracement of this lower high. So we've got the white count, that's the conservative count, and we've got the yellow count, which is the macro count from its previous all-time high. So should we talk some big numbers now? The big numbers are, if we really get an on-risk rally, you've got your 38.2% retracement from its bull market high in 2021, which is sitting at $23. You've got $23. You've got, we'll skip the 0.5, you've got your 618 from the bull market high, $35. Nearly a psychological round number, around about the $35. We know that is going to be a big resistance point. You've got your 78.6 of its bull market, $43. Do I think it's going to hit these levels? Guys, until we start breaking through these barriers here, I'm not looking at the macro levels. I'm looking at the micro levels. However, look where price is now, $4.13. So we've got the 38.2 conservative at $10.90. You've got the 61.8, which is $15.84. These are the ones that I'm interested in. How do we know when we're going to get there? When we break out the top of this range. Break out the top of this range here that we've been in for such a long period of time. We've been in there for years. Once you break out of this range, hold that as support, then you start getting the big swings. Until we're there, I'm not going to look for projections, but I am going to keep you updated. So let's get back to the results on Grok. And this is the output that we've got from Grok. And one thing that you need to think about is, what have we asked Grok to do? What is the input? We've asked it to search one thing: social metrics. What happens when you search social metrics? You search things like X, you search things like Reddit, you search things like YouTube. And some of these top analysts have got bull predictions, which are sky high, which I think are unreasonable. So one thing you need to understand is, take the first part with a pinch of salt, because it's analyzing these collectively to paint a bigger picture to get a better end results. So firstly, social metrics. We've got the bull case. Rising positive buzz on X. Good, tick. And Reddit, tick. Targets up to $121 by December 2025. Take it with a pinch of salt. This is social metrics. This is driven by upgrades like 2.1 billion supply cap, YouTube videos predict $10 to $13.90. So we've gone from 121 top end to $10, $13.90. Q4 reflecting renewed interest. We need to take a lot out of that comment. Right, now the bear case. We've got to look at the bull case. We've got to look at the bear case. And it's got mixed X sentiment with skepticism on recovery above $10. One thing that we looked at before was $10. Remember? $10, what does that represent? It represents the 38.2 of our micro one from our conservative, lower high from the bear market. So $10, Grok has understood $10 is a key resistance point. We've failed twice. We've been in the range for a long period of time. Once we break out the range, then we can start analyzing bigger swings. Grok's realized that. That's a good thing. Decline in mentions on Reddit highlight undervaluation by low hype versus competitors. Now, this is another important thing as well. Is the better technology out there? Is it getting adopted? How is that impacting DOT? And do people want that better technology? We've got to look at the good. You've got to look at the bad. On-chain metrics, the power of cryptocurrency we can use on-chain. So the bull case, growth in activity with TVL of 250 million, 50 plus parachains, and 690 million DOT staked, which is 42% of the supply. This is a big thing. USDC flows up 370% year on year, which signals DeFi momentum. So that's the bull case. Bear case, stagnation, transactional volume, active addresses versus faster growing chains like Solana. Now, there's a caveat there. Is Solana different to Polkadot? Should you be comparing Solana to Polkadot? That's an open-ended question. You can leave that in the comments. Any subset of parachains drive activity. So, news and development. You can see how we can get all of this research from Grok, and then we can compare that and analyzing it and apply it to the charts. News and development, bull case, active devs with Polkadot 2.0 rollout in October, including elastic scaling, Jam, and agile core time. And then there's partnerships like Peak with 500% Q3 growth and ETF filings, which boost momentum. Bear cases, potential delays and upgrades. Archived GitHub signals slower recent activity. We need to take a lot of that comment too. Right, next one, adoption and utility. So let's go through the two scenarios. We've got the bull case, increasing real world use via interoperability. Parachains in DeFi Web3 ranks high in active users among L1s, outpacing Cosmos in adoption stats. And the bear case is competition from Avalanche, ICP erodes uniqueness, lower hype than Ethereum, Solana, limits mass adoption. So we need to understand that Polkadot is further down the scale, and they're comparing them to some of the big boys here. So technical analysis, bull case, 60% probability. Breakout from 415, then neutral RSI and moving average suggests upside $8 to $10 in Q4 on upgrades, and analysts predict 32 plus by year end. So we'll apply that to the chart very shortly. Bear case, 40% probability. Resistance, $4.40. Hold amid 4% dip, consolidation below $4 if macro slump persists. So overall, we've got favorable bullish momentum from upgrades and adoption with the bull case 8 to 12. And that's during Q4 2025 and a 60% probability. And then the bear case is $3 to $5 with a 40% probability. So we'll apply them to the charts and have a look exactly what the metrics are, what Grok thinks as far as the price is concerned, and then we'll check that and compare that against my analysis. And we can look at this chart, and I've cleaned the chart up, and we'll look at my chart very shortly to see if any of these numbers coincide with each other. But one thing with AI, guys, take what you will from it, because all it's doing is looking at the same thing that we're looking at, is past data to predict future results. However, there is discrepancies on predicting future results because it is not a mind reader. One thing that you can see from this is it gives us two scenarios. This scenario, 40% chance, that was the bearish, and it's give a 60% chance of this scenario, which is bullish. Now, the one thing that I'll say, and the caveat that I'll say here, what about this region here? It's quite an important region. What are you going to give us on that? You've completely discounted that. So we understand top end $12, $10 to $12. That was a key level that Grok mentioned. We've got down here the bear scenario, $3 to $5. It's given a 40% chance. So if we just jump back into my chart, and we can see that we've got all the way up here, $12, 10 to $12. This is exactly what Grok was saying, 10 to $12. That's the big resistance barrier we need to overcome in the short term. That is where we've been rejected twice during the bear market. So rejected twice during the bear market. For us to have an on-risk rally, we would expect to break through that. For us to break through that, we can start looking at bigger levels, putting in higher swings, holding them previous resistance levels as key support. Because when you do break through these, wow, you really get support on the back of them. So that's what we're waiting for in the short term. I'm going to keep you updated on Polkadot. That's exactly what I thought. Similar to what Grok thought, the $3 to 5 all the way down here. There's $3. There's $5. Got it marked out exactly, $5. $3 is the low here. There's $5. So as far as the technicals are concerned, Grok agrees with me and my chart. However, the one thing that Grok can't do is analyze that middle bit. That's the one thing that I can do, and that's the one thing that I've done here. So let me know in the comments what you want me to cover next. Do you like these AI videos and how I can compare them to my technical charts and then give my overview? Because if you do like this video, leave a comment. If there's anything that I missed out, leave a comment. Let me know what you want. Get yourself in the Discord group. And that is completely free, and that is where we can chat with each other. And we all have one thing in common. We love crypto. We think the existing monetary system is failing. We want to be part of the new world order. We want to be part of the new financial system. Everyone in this Discord group wants exactly the same thing. There's 450 people in there. Get yourself in there. It is completely free. And that is our hangout, my friends. So once you get in there, you'll say start here. Then all you need to do is just get to the top, solve that captcha. That will show that you're not a bot, and then you'll get access to all of these great things, all of these great people, all of this great alpha, all completely free. Take care of yourself, and goodbye from me.